Hello and welcome. My name is Peter Carr, and today I am talking about the war with machines, and it's the third talk in the series. My talk today is about a solution to the problem. The problem that I talked about in parts 1 and 2, and which is a problem that's being talked about by people, companies and governments all over the world, is the problem of machines, computers, robots, AI taking jobs away from people. Now, some people, I personally think that AI, as I'll call all of those things, will take about 75% of the jobs within the next 15 years, and I've got some reasons that I believe that I can talk about. Other people are more conservative, and they're thinking about 20% of jobs being taken by machines. But the point is, even if it's just 20% of jobs taken by machines, that is finally a point where societies will struggle to function. We've got plenty of historical data that tells us very clearly when societies get beyond 15% unemployment, societies find it very difficult to continue functioning in a normal way, both economically and from a community perspective. Economically, governments rely for their funding on taxation revenues that are coming from people who are employed, which dips significantly when unemployment gets to beyond 15%. And businesses require the spending power of consumers buying products of them. And those revenues dip 15% if people aren't earning an income, or beyond 15%, and that is more than those businesses can afford to lose in terms of buying power of consumers. So from both perspectives, free enterprise and government, there's a basic problem of sustainability once unemployment gets to that degree. And there are social problems associated with unemployment at that level as well. Crime, etc. So, regardless of whether you believe my estimate of 75% of jobs going, or the most conservative estimates of around 20%, society is going to be in serious trouble. And what do we mean by serious trouble? Great Depression, 1930s, massive starvation leading to a global war that killed 50 million people. This is the level of disruption that we're talking about. So governments are rightly concerned about this. What's the solution? Well, the only real solution that people have proposed and is actually being trialled in a couple of countries is called universal basic income. If you haven't heard about universal basic income, it's the idea that the government pays everybody a salary for doing nothing. Well, not nothing, but not working in a job. And that doesn't mean, that's not the same as an unemployment benefit of a small amount of money just for survival. It's a reasonable weekly or monthly salary that you'd expect to get in a job paid to you by the government for not working. And then you can use your time doing creative things and so on and so forth. It's a fantastic idea. Some would say utopian. So there you go, there's the solution, problem solved, let's just do that. The reality is that no government can afford that. The money has to come from somewhere, and if nobody's working, or very few people are working, and everyone else is getting money from the government, the maths is just not going to add up. regardless of what a nice idea it is, it just won't be affordable. So the idea is just not a realistic one. It's a shame because it's a great idea. Wow. So the only real solution that people have thought of isn't a solution because it can't work and therefore it won't happen. So what can be done? Well, I've given it quite a bit of thought and I've come up with a series of proposals, of ideas about how to fix the problem, which I call the CAR protocols. I'm just going to describe briefly what this is, and there's a lot more information on the website. So the concept is, instead of the government taking responsibility to pay every single person a salary, which is not workable, we will create a system whereby every AI, and when I say AI I mean AI, robot, sophisticated IT system, each AI is linked to one person, one human being. Each AI can only be linked to one human being, and each human being can only be linked to one AI. It's a symbiotic relationship. What does linked mean? Linked means, firstly, financial implication. When that AI goes into a company, is brought into a company to replace people, the company pays the AI a salary. Now that salary won't be the same as the salary a person gets. It might be less. It might be more if that AI is replacing 20 jobs. So the AI earns a salary for doing the job, which isn't what happens now. Now a company brings in an AI and it doesn't earn anything. So the company pays the AI a salary. Now the AI doesn't need money. In most cases AI is just software code. It doesn't have feet, it doesn't need shoes, it doesn't have to take holidays in the Bahamas. So the AI doesn't need money. The salary from the AI then goes to the linked person. So that person who's probably lost their job because an AI has come in is now getting a salary for the work that the AI is doing. So in a sense the AI is an extension of that individual. Now, that's the financial implication. Money goes to the AI, the salary, and that salary is paid in full to the person that's linked to the AI. That's one aspect. On the other side, we've got responsibility. The person takes responsibility for the AI. So if the AI is malfunctioning, then that person is responsible to make sure that it's all sorted out. So we've got payment, salary, responsibility. So instead of the government giving handouts to people for doing nothing, which is a great idea, but economically unrealistic, companies, businesses who are profiting by using AIs pay the AI salary just the way that the company will have to pay a person a salary if they're hiring a person. And just like companies pay for everything else companies use, whether that's a factory, an office, the internet, whatever it is, company pays for it, pays the AI salary, salary goes to person has an income. What's the income for? The income's for the work that my linked AI is doing. So there's a lot more information about how this works in practical terms on the website, but that's basically the concept there. And I believe that that will provide society with enough income, enough replacement jobs that we won't have the problem that's created by AIs taking jobs from people. Okay? Have a nice day.